Hi, welcome to another episode of Out of the Blue. I'm Blue, and I know it's been a while since I posted a video. I'm really sorry for that. I could give you a bunch of excuses like I had a lot of schoolwork and things went wrong with my laptop and I fell on my face and had bruises for weeks. And all of those would be true, but they're kind of irrelevant because they don't matter. What matters is that I'm here right now, you're here right now, and I know you want to just get to some science. So to get us back in the mood of sciencey things, today we're going to talk about a paradox. Specifically Olbers Paradox, and that is why the night sky is dark. So if you're ready, let's get started. I don't know if you've noticed, you probably have given that you're human and have probably lived on Earth for a while. When you go outside at night, it's darker than when you go outside during the day. And that's kind of a given. We all know that that's true. But if you think about why it's true, it's actually kind of astounding. And Olbers Paradox is the night sky is dark. And why is that? It's based on a couple of assumptions because we used to not know that much about our universe. So we used to think the universe was infinitely big, and maybe it is. So if it's infinitely big, that's one thing, then it's probably been around for a really long time, so we can call it infinitely old. Well, if it's infinitely big and infinitely old, then anywhere you look in the dome above us at night, you should see a star. Eventually, somewhere way out there, there's going to be a star. And if at every point you look at in the sky, eventually there's a star, then the entire sky should be lit up at night, brighter than during the day even, because if it's infinite, then there are an infinite amount of stars anywhere you look, and the night sky should be infinitely bright. Well, it's not. When you go out at night, it's actually kind of dark. Most of the sky is filled with black. Even if you go to a really dark sky spot, you can see the Milky Way stripes, but there's mostly black. There's mostly nothing when you look up at night. And they didn't know why that was for a really long time. Olbers Paradox stood strong for a very long time. People tried to fix it by saying, well, maybe stars die out. But even if you look in one direction and the first star you see is dead, you look farther and there's another star there and it's perfectly fine. Then people said, well, maybe there's dust or some other matter in the way. Well, if the universe is infinitely old, then whatever's between us and a star would have an infinite amount of time to heat up and then give off blackbody radiation in the same wavelength as the star, and the dust would be just as bright as the star. Now, dust in the universe is actually pretty bright. That's a different topic. But even dust would be really bright. And all of this was thwarted by the assumptions that the universe was infinitely old and infinitely big. People didn't really think for a long time, well, maybe it's not infinitely old, maybe it's not infinitely big. The idea that it has a finite age or some sort of finite size is awkward. You don't think that you're going to reach the end of the universe. You don't think that there was a time before the beginning of the universe, so people kind of ran with the assumptions. The first person to actually hint at the correct answer to Olbers Paradox was Edgar Allan Poe. That's right, the Raven. He wrote in a poem that maybe the night sky is dark because there are things too far for us to see. Now, I'm not sure he was an actual cosmologist and he actually knew what he was talking about, but he was actually really right. Of course, now we have this theory of the hot Big Bang, so we know the universe is only 13.8 billion years old. So we can only see 13.8 billion years out. If the universe is infinitely big, we can't see anything past 13.8 billion years because those stars haven't had time to reach our eyes yet. And that means we can't see everything, even if the universe is infinitely big, and we don't know if it is. We don't know the size of our universe because it could be curved, and it's just a whole mess of what the size of our universe could be. But the point is, there are things too far for us to see. And that is Olbers Paradox, and it's actually the foundation of cosmology, which is a huge, huge subject in astronomy right now. It's a blossoming field that you can get into. It's a big deal, and it all started out with the observation that the night sky is dark. It started out with an observation of something everyone took for granted, but thinking about it, just actually thinking about what's going on in the world. So I'm going to encourage you to keep looking at what's going on in the world, think really hard about it, and maybe you'll discover another paradox, and maybe you can solve that paradox, or someone else can. Maybe some great writer in the future will poetically solve your paradox. And we have so much left to discover, so just keep on the lookout, and keep observing, and keep loving science. See you next week.